Hey all, I'm not sure what happened, but we'll pick right back up here with average length of stay. So again, we're looking at the number of days average patient is hospitalized with each admission. So we're sitting at 5.2 days based on our information that we have available. We know the industry average is at 4.7 days. So what is this really telling us? We're on average keeping our patients longer than hospitals of comparative size, which could potentially, be a very negative impact, especially if we go beyond the approved ALOS. We may start losing reimbursement. We could be paying out more in expenses. So, generally, an ALOS that is above the industry standard is going to be really considered to have more of that negative impact on profitability because the reimbursement is weighted so towards prospective payment that we need to try and decrease this ALOS down to what the industry average is going to be. So we mentioned patient case mix index, and what does this really indicate to us? So the CMI, or the case mix index, is just the intensity of the services that we're providing. Do we have more severe patients, less sickly patients? What does our patient kind of demographic look like? And these are heavily used with Medicare patients, and it's based on diagnosis codes, the DX for diagnostics. And more complex treatments, TX, is going to equate to higher values of spending that we have to do to take care of these patients. So if Riverside has a CMI of 1.2 and the industry average is 1.5, what is this really going to tell us? Just that admissions into Riverside, that those inpatient revenues and costs are not necessarily influenced by having a patient mix that's either relatively simple to treat or relatively complex to treat. So inpatient FTEs, are full-time employees per occupied bed. This is another one you're not going to find on the financial sheet, but you will be able to find the data to help you solve this particular ratio. We're going to take inpatient full-time employees divided by average daily census, and we're going to arrive at 4.8 with the average daily census at 5.6. So what we're looking here is workforce productivity and efficiency in terms of our full-time employees on the inpatient side of the hospital. And lower is better here, so the lower number is going to indicate a more productive workforce, which is what we want to see. Let's see, so what does this ratio really indicate to us? Simply that we have higher than average labor productivity. So our activities that we see on the inpatient service side are going to be more profitable than normal. So how we kind of tie this in together is we look at salary per FTE, and what this is going to tell us relative cost of our labor workforce, which is the majority of our expenses. So we're going to look at total salaries divided by total FTEs to kind of get that salary per FTE. So when we calculate it out, we see it's at 30,973, but the industry average is at 32,987. So what again is this really indicating to us? That even though, yes, we may have a little bit higher profitability, we are able to get that profitability level because we have control over worker productivity, and we really control wages and benefits to kind of get us to the level that we need to be. So just a quick review of financial performance analysis. Let me go ahead and lay all this out here. It's going to focus on if, as an organization or as a business, do we have the resources and capabilities available to us to help us continue to push, that guiding light that we should be following, which is the mission statement, understanding that we have to bring all these different components from the different financial sheets together And it's really going to be a good indicator of our strengths and our weaknesses and where we need to improve as an organization. Now, there are some limitations to financial performance evaluations. Just because you're average doesn't necessarily mean that's good or bad. So you really need to look more into the data and look to see what's encompassed within that data set. While understanding seasonal factors are going to distort ratios. So in terms of volume into the hospital, we're going to expect to see more volume in the wintertime versus the summertime. People get sick a lot more because they're indoors a lot more. So inflation and patient utilization can really distort some data that's presented. Go ahead and give these out here. And honestly, it is hard sometimes to tell whether a ratio is inherently good or bad. We just have to use it for that indicator. And talking about key performance indicators, we typically put these on a format of a dashboard that focuses on those things that are going to tell us as an organization we're watching this really closely to see if we're successful or not, or if we're doing good as a business or not. Guys, this is all I have for this last part of Chapter 17. I know it was a lot of information, so if you do have any questions, feel free to call me or email me, stop by anytime, and I'll be happy to talk to you. But as for Chapter 17, this is all I have. If you'd like to work some additional problems in the book beyond what's due for your homework assignment, feel free to send those to me, and I'll be happy to look at them. We'll see you next time.